Welcome back. The final session, what we need to do is actually make some feet to go on the bottom of this, and it's your choice if you want to put a base in there. Okay, so when it comes to making the feet, we're just going to use some half pieces of decking board. And what you want to do is your flower box should be 40 centimetres long. Well, what we're going to do is I've actually made 2 feet here which are 38 centimetres long. They're a fraction shorter, so that when they do actually go on the bottom, they just tuck in below the edge just nice and neatly, just so that they don't stick out and you don't notice them too much. Okay, I won't actually screw them on just yet because I'm going to make a base to go inside there so the flower pot can sit on top. So you could get a nice big sheet of plywood to do that, or just normal whitewood. I've actually just got some scrap chipboard here, as you can see, some 2 offcuts. It doesn't make much difference. It's actually quite handy having 2 pieces, because then having a small gap in the middle just to help the water drain out the bottom and stop it pooling on your piece of wood. So what I've done, what we need to do is measure the size of this gap, and at the moment it's saying the size of this gap is about 34.5 centimetres. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this 34 centimetres. So I've just got a little bit of leeway, and there should be a couple of millimetres gap all the way around the outside, just to allow the rain to run out the bottom. So I've already measured that piece, so 34 centimetres, and normally I would say let's use a tri-square to draw that line. However, because this is a scrap piece of wood, I don't know if that is perfectly straight, so it's a good idea just to measure 34 centimetres there and on this side, and then just draw a line across. I'm now putting both the pieces of wood side by side. I'm going to do exactly the same over here. So measure 34, 34, and this direction as well. 34. Now let's join up all of our lines. So I'm not using that right angled edge there, because I can actually see this has got a wavy edge to it. Along the ruler. Right. So that will be the size of the inside of my box. However, the one thing you do need to remember is you're going to have these 4 corner pieces which are going to be in the way. So what I want to do is rest this on top. And now, with a pencil, I'm just going to mark where those 4 corners are. And just like before, it doesn't matter if there's a slight gap. We don't need to be 100% accurate. You don't want it to be pinching against those corner sections. There we go. Right. Best tool for this is definitely the jigsaw. So let's put that there. Clamp it down. Normally I would stand on that side when I'm using this jigsaw, but if I was to stand here and as I step forward with the blade, it would be very hard for you to see. So I'm going to stand this side. It does make it more awkward for me, but it is actually easier for the camera. Get my glasses. Saw these little corner pieces out, sawing into one corner, into that little corner there, that little right angle. Don't try and turn a sharp corner, because obviously with the thickness of the blade, it's just going to pinch on the wood, and the jigsaw's like to bounce around, or it might even split the wood. Best thing to do, like I just did there, is saw into the corner, let the blade stop, be patient, lift it out, and then come from the other direction, and in we go. And then we do the same on this corner. Last one, here we go. There we go. Fingers crossed, we have actually measured that accurately and carefully. It's always a good idea just to check, see if those go inside there. If they do, cool. So, those are ready to go. What we need to do now is just screw our legs on, and then we just drop the base down on top of those legs. So, I'm going to flip this over. That's going to go there and there. When you put your legs on, there's no set measurement. Just use your eyesight and just think, actually, where do I want my feet to go? Do you want them narrow? Do you want them out on the outside? It's totally up to you, doesn't matter where they go. Just try and get them nice and straight. Generally, you can trust your eyesight. Your eyes can actually tell the difference between 1 millimetre. So you don't actually have to measure it, you can just go, yeah, that looks good enough, and go for it. Just like before, I'm using decking screws. You can put one decking screw on either end of the legs. I am actually putting these decking screws on a very slight, I don't know if you can see it there, on a very slight angle. Because the feet are narrower than the actual frame, if I was to go straight down, it might come out into the inside of my flower box. So I've got a very slight angle. Okay. That, and then those pieces literally drop on top, like so. If you want, what we can do now is just put a small screw in there just to help hold it in place. So I'm just going to go and get a couple of screws, screw it together, and then we're ready for our next session. Welcome back. End of last session we made the bottom for our flower box. As you can probably see from here, this piece here is rocking. What I could have done, I could have designed it so I put the base that way, however I didn't, so what I'm going to do is just add 4 short screws. So I've got some more gold screws. These are 4 by 25 millimeters. And all we're going to do is just screw those through the base plate into our legs. There we go. Do the same on the other side. And there we go. Voila! Small little flower box. Yeah. Now that you've actually finished it, you've got a choice of how you're going to coat it. This being green treated wood will actually last outside for a good 10 years. It's pressure treated. However, you can paint it like my previous version. This flower box here, obviously I went for a nice pink colour, but you can paint it however you like if you want. You can even give it an extra layer of protection using decking oil. That's always a good option. On the inside you've got a couple of choices. Either you can get yourself a flower pot which measures the same size to put it inside it, or another option is you can get some weed control matting and then just staple it around the top and just let it fold into the middle. And then once you use the weed control matting, then just fill that with compost and soil and then start planting your flowers. Anyway, hopefully your flower box will look something like that. Hopefully it has worked. Obviously I've used 40 centimeters and 35 centimeters for those two lengths, but if you want to make a different shape box or a different size box, that's totally up to you. Yes, I've also used the whole thickness of a decking board here plus a half. If you want a deeper pot, just do 2 whole pieces. You can actually use the same design on multiple different sizes and scales. It's totally up to you. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that demonstration. Good luck.